back 40. I got binoculars on. I'm not hunting or bird watching. I'm watching the sheep. Let me turn you around here. So you can see they're out there grazing. Those are the half dozen ewes that we've got. Two of them are ewe lambs that aren't ready to breed. They'll probably be breeding pretty soon so we can get some fall lambs. But the other four, uh, three of them have lamb before, and one of them it's her first time. So hopefully that goes well. But I'm just out here finishing my work day. Got my binoculars here, watching the sheep. We got one that's looking pretty close to being ready to lamb. And she's had twins for us 2 years in a row, so we're hoping for some twins there. Um, and that first timer I think should be next, and she might have singles. Her mom throws singles, or has for the last 2 years in a row. So we'll see if anybody comes on and joins here. Sometimes these live streams that I just kind of do on the fly don't turn out super great. Sometimes people don't see them. I don't know uh, what settings might be better or worse. Hey, Gwen's here. Baroque Cowgirl Homestead. Hey, Gwen. Hope you're doing well. Hope you have a good weekend. Um, my sons and I are going to something fun tonight. It is what is it called? It's called now I can't remember. It's a dinner, wildlife dinner, something. It proceeds go to support some cool groups, and anyway, yeah, pretty weather today for sure. We're gonna get some rain. It looks like maybe in 2, 3, 4 days. So um, hopefully we get some. We got. Hey, hello. Is that Felicia? Good to see you here, Felicia. Oh, you lost the volume. Yeah, somebody was calling me. Okay. Thanks, Gwen. That's super helpful to hear. Um, but yeah, I'm out on pasture here. I kind of gave a short little intro. I am shepherding while I work my day job with my laptop here. But yeah, let me flip around the camera. You can see the sheep out there grazing away. We got 6 ewes. 2 have not been bred. The other 4 have. One first timer. The other 3 have produced lambs for us. One on the right is the one who is about to lamb now. Should be probably any time in the next week or so. So I'm out here, got my binoculars and a chest harness so I can watch them from over here pretty well. Um, Five Sky, do you know the Beatles? I know of the Beatles. I don't know. I don't know Paul McCartney personally, if that's what you're asking. Um, Felicia Bailey. So basically, is this video gonna keep going, or are you gonna turn it off at nighttime? Yeah, I am not going to be on here forever. This is just going to be a short live stream. I'll keep it going for a little while here, but really I'm just out grazing sheep. The sheep that we have on our homestead, we've got these 6 that are out here, and then we've got 2 rams, well, a ram and a wether, that are back at the barn right now. And we are in the central Arizona highlands. So we're a couple hours south of Grand Canyon, a couple hours north of Phoenix, if that tells you where we are. We're up at 5,000 feet. Gwen says, I'm going to be on baby watch for goats here in a week or 2. That's Awesome, Glenn. I'm gonna try to remember to tune in more to your channel. There's lots of things I've learned from you, and I hope to learn some more. How many sheep do I have? Yeah, so we have 8. Um, we lost 2 of our ewe lambs this year to death, and that was sad. One um, had the overeating disease. So Glenn, I don't know if you've dealt with that, but yeah. What are you doing? Let's see. LOL on her phone. Oh, what am I doing? I am sitting out here watching sheep graze while I do my work on my laptop. I make maps for a living, and I graze sheep for fun. So it's fun when I do live streams like this. We get a lot of new people in. So welcome in. We are a homestead channel, a husband and wife. We got 2 teenage sons who help us out as ranch hands out here. We have a few acres, and we are in northern central Arizona, 5,000 feet up, and we're south of the Grand Canyon a couple hours. Um, yeah, thank you. It's fun. There's our sheep out there grazing, and I am on baby watch because they are going to have their lambs real soon. So wouldn't it be cool if we had lambs to show you on a live stream? I think that'd be pretty cool. So I'm here. I've got this binocular chest harness here. You can see it's binoculars. It's not snacks or any weapons or anything. It's binoculars. So yeah, I thought this would be kind of fun. Gwen says, I'm a visual learner, so Sandy Brock, sheepishly me, taught me so much. Yeah, we watch Sandy Brock all the time about helping during birthing if needed, along with a lot of other stuff. Sheep and goats are very similar. Um, yeah, Gwen, you would get along with my wife very well. She's watching Sandy Brock all the time, and she loves pulling lambs. She's really good at it. She's very calm and yet very assertive. So it's really fun watching her kind of do her thing as a shepherdess. So, um, so that's a lot of fun. Yeah, we've learned a ton from Sandy Brock. Hopefully this view is okay. I'm going to be doing a few things while this live stream's going, but we've got 1 like so far. Double tap the screen if you guys are watching this on mobile, and it will give, and that's very helpful. Also, subscribe if you haven't already. I like to put up a variety of content about our chickens, our gardening, and of course the sheep. And we should have some videos of some lambs here real soon, which is always fun. But yeah, it's a nice day. It's probably 70 degrees or so. The sun's hitting the back of my neck, and I'm getting pretty warm. We do have a good breeze. Like I said, a storm's coming our way here in the next 2 or 3 days, and hopefully we'll get maybe an inch of rain. We could really use that here. It doesn't look like it's going to snow. It's been too warm lately. Still have the chance of frost until about May 15th or Mother's Day or somewhere in there. Yeah, sheep are looking very happy right now, being out on pasture, grazing away. So we move them every time we put them out here. We put them on a new piece of ground. For those of you who aren't familiar with what we do, we put them in a electrified net, and that keeps them from leaving where we want them to be, and it also keeps predators out for the most part. We definitely watch them very carefully when the lambs are coming because they're very vulnerable, especially the small lambs, of course. We have a lot of mountain lions, coyotes, bobcats. We also have other things like weasels and badgers and skunks and raccoons and other things that aren't so much of a threat to our sheep, but there are black bears here as well. So, yeah, We try to be careful. Rebecca! Hello, Rebecca. Welcome in. It's good to see you again. Um, Gwen says there is also another channel I like to watch, Utopia Farms. Yeah, we're subscribed to them as well. They have sheep too. Do it a lot differently than Sandy. I've learned a lot from them too. Yeah. Yeah, Utopia. There's another one that starts with an L. I always forget their name. But yeah, they're really good. It's super helpful to learn from Sandy Brock. She shows it all the heartbreak and um, all the elation, all the different stuff that they do. They're up in Canada and have an indoor setup for all their sheep and sheep breeding, lambing, all that. Yeah, I'm not sure how much. What we're trying to figure out now is what our carrying capacity is for this land. We have a few acres here that we can graze, and like I said, we move around the nets enough and keep them on a small patch at one time, and then we move it when they've eaten what's there. And that is really helpful to encourage the competition of the plant species, specifically the weeds and the grasses, so that we don't have just the bad weeds that nothing wants to eat, like thistles and thorns and things like that it becomes a good variety. So that's kind of the idea behind that. Um, hey, G Mama Grows, welcome in. Gwen says, yeah, we have mountain lions, black cats, and I just read that black bears have started making a comeback in Texas. Wow, yeah, the bears haven't bothered us at all, Gwen, and we have a lot of them right here. In fact, trying to think of how many miles down the trail into the wilderness I go before I see a lot of scat from black bears. I think it's probably mile and a half or 2 miles where I'll see black bear scat pretty regularly. And Arizona doesn't have as many as other places in the world. I know Texas doesn't have as many as, let's say, Colorado or other states, Utah, Montana, things like that. Um, but quite a good number here right near us. Um, yeah, we got 3 thumbs up, 4 people in the chat. So double tap that screen if you're watching on mobile. It will give us the thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Let us know what kind of content you'd like to see from us. If you'd like to see more of our gardening content, we've got a bunch of garlic. I think that's probably going to come out sometime soon. We've got a lot more fruit trees in the orchard, and we've also planted some, what would you say, ornamental, not really ornamental, more shade trees, both deciduous and coniferous evergreen trees. So we may end up talking a little bit about that in some of our videos. We've learned a little bit more about those things. We've had some failures, had some successes, so that is fun. It's fun to tell others about that is. So we have some experience. We've had some drought. This year has been a really hard year. Oh, there goes a mountain biker. Hello. Anyway, most people don't expect to see me out here. Yeah, so let us know what you'd be interested in. I know not everybody has sheep. Gwen is one of our friends on YouTube that does have small ruminants. She has goats, and super thankful to learn tricks of the trade from Gwen. We are hoping to do some milk sheep stuff this year. We have one sheep that is half milk sheep, half hair sheep or meat sheep. So we hope that we'll get some milk out of her this year. Last year was her first year lambing, so not the best for milk production. And I'm not too sure. Her udder doesn't look all that big. So we may end up selling her off to another ranch and trying to get something different. That maybe a better milk producer, or we might just stay with our hair sheep. But um, she's pretty good. We had to sell off one of our sheep that was a little bit pig-headed. Wouldn't really follow the shepherd and the shepherdess like we liked. And so we sold off her and her daughter. She was the solid black sheep that we had. And she's a great sheep aside from the fact that she would lead a mutiny once in a while. And that half milk, half meat sheep would follow her sometimes. So she's been a lot better of a sheep since um, her friend left our ranch. It's really interesting. Sheep are a lot like people. Um, you become like the people that you spend your time with. So it's an important lesson to learn. Um, yeah, absolutely, Gwen. We learn a lot. Like I said, become like the people you spend time with, and you become like the channels on YouTube that you watch. So it's important. Even as at the neighbors as they drive by. Yep, it's a friendly neighborhood here. That is for sure. We watch out for one another. Yeah, Rebecca, there are milk sheep. Actually, we go. We're Costco members, and we go to Costco to buy food for our family of four. We'll load up on a bunch at once, and having teenage boys having a Costco membership is a pretty good idea. But there's a sheep cheese that they have there that is really good, and it comes from Spain. It's called Manchego, and it's a little pricey to be honest, but I love it, and my body reacts to it way better than any kind of um, cow-based milk cheese. Um, yeah, cow milk cheese that you normally would eat cheddar, mozzarella. The harder cheeses don't seem to be as impactful on my body, um, but that sheep cheese, it's like a softer cheese, kind of like a cheddar or a jack. Got a really mild flavor. I just love it. I think it's probably one of my favorite cheeses, and it's called Manchego, spelled Manchego, and I'd never really heard of it before. Glenn says, when I wanted goats for dairy, I researched all the standard normal breeds here in the U.S. and how much they produced on average. I knew with it just the two of us, I didn't need gallons. Yep, don't need a cow, that's for sure, right? Growing up, mom had milk cows, grandma had milk goats. Can't tell the difference in the milk. Yeah, a lot of people have had goat cheese and they think it's going to be goaty, goat flavored. And tell you what, I have had milk from our friends in town that have milk goats. And when you get fresh goat milk, I'm telling you, you cannot tell the difference drinking the stuff. It tastes just like cow's milk to me. Maybe a little bit richer. I don't know. Anyway, it is fantastic. Goat milk is wonderful, and especially if you have lactose issues or anything from cow's milk. There's also the A2 protein cow's milk. They sell that at Costco now too, which is incredible. Which our boys seem to deal better with that as well. Danielle does really well on all types of dairy. But us boys tend to digest it better, have less skin irritation and things like that. So that's interesting. Somebody turned into our neighborhood that I don't recognize way out there. I've got binoculars. Oh, actually, that's my parents' friend, I think. Huh, I didn't know she was coming over. Uh, Anyhow, interesting. Um, Interesting stuff being out here with the sheep. You always see something that you don't expect. I saw some horses earlier, mountain biker. Um, all right, I gotta catch up here. Gwen says, "I think it feels creamier in your mouth, but that may be because mom skimmed the cream at the top to make butter." Yeah, that would make sense for sure. Um, I don't skim any goat's milk unless I'm making butter, which isn't that much. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Doesn't separate. It doesn't separate out like cow's milk, right? That's why you don't see like goat butter. You see goat cheese, but not goat butter regularly. I would love to have some sheep butter. Man, we're using a lot of butter these days. You need a gypsy wagon to stay in while out watching the sheep. Yeah, yeah. I've thought about building a little structure, and I've thought about putting it on wheels or something. Um, I've got a Wi-Fi setup that is like off of a big power bank, um, and then it's got a Wi-Fi hotspot, Wi-Fi repeater, I guess is what it is. And I'll put that up in one of these pine trees like this, um, way up high, so it'll get the signal. And it works really good. I mean, it's only got probably 300 yards to go, something like that. But it works really well. And then I got my laptop out here too, and I can go at least a half a day without even needing to recharge either of those things. But yeah, I've thought about having some type of structure out here so I can shepherd and work at the same time. Um, Speaking of, I need to make sure I got to open up an Excel table and do a pivot table. If any of you are familiar with pivot tables, I got to pivot some analyses numbers that I provided over a month ago now, but somebody needs those, so I need to see if I can pull out the numbers that they need from doing a pivot table a different way. Um, if if any of you want to put what you do for work or what you've done for work in the past, I always find that interesting. I have a variety of friends with small businesses that they have, and I always find it fascinating to know all the different things about it. Like, hey, what's the biggest challenge that you've had over the life of the business, or what's the biggest challenge that you've had currently? What are some major successes you've had? Who tend to be your clients? Are they rich? Are they poor? Are they in between? Um, and It's super interesting. I love learning what people do for their living. And speaking of, my day job is making maps for a consulting company, and we get our clients mostly through environmental law challenges or environmental regulation challenges, to be more precise, I guess. So there's a lot of different government agencies that need um, different, you know, I's dotted, T's crossed, and things like that. And I make all the maps for the reports to send off to those different organizations or agencies or whatever. So, um, Gwen says they say goat's milk doesn't separate out, but it does. Not quite as fast, but it'll separate. Interesting. Okay. Um, Yeah, Danielle, my wife. She's really interested in doing sheep cheese and butter and cream and all kinds of things. We're going to try to do what we would if we had a cow with the sheep milk. But we're just getting started with that. So we're learning a lot. We've got some friends that are in the next town over that are kind of our mentors in that regard, as far as the dairy sheep thing goes. So yeah, it'll be interesting to just see how that goes for us this year with our half milk sheep. Um, they say you can milk these hair sheep that are primarily bred for meat, of course, because when they come into milk, they do have enough milk for twins usually, but yeah, they haven't been bred over the years, selectively bred for the milk. So they don't produce all that much, but we don't really use all that much. It'd be nice to make some cheese or something. Rebecca says, I don't have a Costco here. We have a Sam's Club only. Okay, well, maybe look for that Manchego cheese. I think that's the most popular sheep cheese besides feta. Feta is almost always sheep milk. But sometimes they'll blend sheep and cow milk together and make some different cheeses. Um, but I've the sheep cheese and goat cheese taste very different, at least to me. I don't know. What do you think, Gwen? Do you eat much sheep and goat cheese, and can you tell the difference in a blind taste test? I bet you could. Anyway, we got 3 thumbs ups. We got 4 people watching. Thank you for watching, everyone. Um, and we'll see if other people join us. I'm gonna do my pivot table here, and hopefully I can keep track of that chat. And I'll let you know if it looks like there's any activity with the lambing going on with the sheep out here. I don't think they're ready quite yet. It's interesting. Most of our sheep will stop. They'll stop eating like normal. It's very interesting. You can kind of tell when they're starting to have like I don't know what you call it, like the pre-labor contractions. Um, and you can just tell that they are not comfortable. Things are starting to happen. And the first year we weren't really in tune with it, and then all of a sudden I hear the first ewe to start lambing just crying like she was hungry. She was just bah bah bah. Thinking, why in the world are you crying so much right now? Are you hungry? Did you get stuck in something? And the sheep know the shepherd's voice, but the shepherd also knows the sheep's voice, and I could tell exactly who it was right away. I knew who it was, and I thought, yeah, I don't think she's the first one to be lambing, but there it was. I saw 2 hooves, poking out, and thought, okay, here we go. So we just let her deliver naturally, and we all watched, and it was something like this. We were out on pasture, and she found a nice little spot in the brush, kind of like where I'm sitting right now, and she had her 2 lambs, and it was real special. It's a really, really amazing day. If you've ever watched the birth of anything, it's an amazing event. It's like this miraculous thing that happens that we've all went through, right? We've all been born into this world, and it's miraculous every time. It's amazing, and it's a beautiful thing. So it's fun to have animals to see that so often. Uh, we're not having children anymore, so yeah, the animals, it's fun to keep us busy. Someday maybe we'll have some grandchildren. Oh, it'll be fun. See that happen someday. Well, it looks like my half milk sheep is dumping out the water. She likes to push the water bin around to see if there's any grass underneath. And she pushes out the water. I think they still have a little bit left. But I'm probably going to need to fill that up or put them back in the barn. We'll probably put them back in the barn. It's a warm day, and they'll probably want to sit in the shade for the rest of the afternoon once it starts getting even warmer. Sorry, 2 p.m. here in Arizona. All right, let's see, did I miss anything here? Gwen from Baroque Cowgirl Homestead says, I've never mixed cows and goats' milk. The only time I buy milk is when my goats are dried off getting ready to have babies. 2 months out of the LOL. Goats get yucky too when it's getting close to time. Yeah, yeah. They usually start making some sound, and Oh, we got sympathy for them. Some of them, man, they sound like they're just going through the ringer, trying to deal with those contractions and getting those lambs out. But it's fun. It's a fun time of year. As spring comes around, we see the grass start coming up and uh, starting to get warmer and start having lambs on the ground. The little lamb voices that we get to hear, and they all have their own unique voice, and it changes as they get older. It deepens, and then we got the chickens too. We're collecting eggs now, and we're going to be incubating a ton of chicken eggs and putting the chickens on the pasture for the meat birds. It's that season. It's go time for us. So it's kind of the calm before the storm right now. It's a nice peaceful time. And I sure enjoy this, the end of the winter, beginning of spring. This makes me super happy. Just the renewal, thinking about all the things that might be coming here real soon. Never count your chickens before they hatch, they say. But yeah, um, but when there's livestock, there's dead stock too. There have been some springs where we've had some trauma, and so there's some post-traumatic stress a little bit, some anxiety and things that we know that went sideways and that we thought we were prepared for and we weren't. Things like that. You just learn it with time. So, uh, yeah, cows do it too. It's their way of getting the babies used to their voice. Yeah, yeah, their babies know their voice, don't they, Glenn? We got 6 people on now, it seems, and let's see, 5 thumbs up. So again, if you're on mobile, which that's why I do these vertical videos with my phone for live streams, because they tend to get more traction with the people that use their phones primarily, and YouTube rewards that, sends us out to all kinds of people that probably haven't ever even thought about our channel, but they'll put it in front of all kinds of people this way. Um, so yeah, double tap on your screen if you're on mobile. It'll give us that thumbs up, which really helps. And then subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Go and click on our name and go give us a subscribe. And yeah, let us know what kind of content you're interested in. We do homesteading on a few acres here in northern Arizona. We're up at 5,000 feet. We're kind of in the high desert, where the high desert meets the forest. You can see we got some pines and some junipers here, and it's yeah, juniper pine open woodland. It's kind of we got oaks too, but anyway, it's a nice spot, but it's kind of unique for homesteading. Most people tend to have more water than we do, but we've got a well and it produces pretty good water. So we are blessed for sure. Um, all right, Rebecca, take care. It's good to have you in here. Yeah, so the sheep know my voice, and it's interesting. They will all stop what they're doing if I say a certain phrase. Now, a certain phrase is, "Hey, sheep." I just got 12 ears and 12 eyes staring at me, and now they're back to grazing. It's great. I love it. I love being a shepherd. Our pastor was just talking about this past weekend how um, shepherding the flock is it's an honor, but it's also really hard. And if you're gonna shepherd, you're gonna be around sheep, and if you're gonna be around sheep, you're gonna smell like sheep. And it's often harder with people. That's why a lot of us gravitate towards animals, because The animals seem to be a little bit more predictable than people, I guess. Maybe just because they can't speak our language. You know, things that they're thinking, what they're worried about, their expectations, and how they differed from ours. Those types of things. Why they don't understand what we're doing. Sometimes it's easier around animals. My audio is probably going to cut out again. I got a phone call that came in. And I'll have to call these people back here pretty soon. Um, have you harvested any of your lambs for meat yet? Yeah, we actually have, Gwen. 1 million pumpkins. Hey, Apache County, Arizona. You got sheep too? That's great, 1 million pumpkins. I think I have interacted with you before. Forgive me if I forgot. But yeah, here's our sheep. Check it out. We got we got 6 ewe lambs or 6 ewes out on pasture. 2 of them are lambs that haven't been bred yet. The other 4 have been bred. And I'm just out here shepherding and watching them. I've got a set of binoculars on my chest so I can watch if there's any signs of lambing. But you just harvested 2 wethers, Gwen? Yeah, it's it's an interesting thing. You know, when we first moved here, we didn't have sheep, and then we got sheep, and we've been on this land for about 3 years now, almost. And we had one of our neighbors come by and asked us, "Well, what do you plan to do with the sheep?" And I said, "Well, they're meat sheep." And she looked at me with a look that was so sad. She said, "Well, I guess I shouldn't become friends with them then." And I thought, yeah, probably not. But I said, yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to do with any of these ones. But the ewes we plan to keep and to breed them and have more lambs. And she said, "Well, if you're going to eat any of them, I don't want to be friends with any of them." And I thought, you know what? That's that's probably just a good idea in general, just to not be friends with livestock because livestock serve a different purpose. Now our dogs, yeah, go ahead and be friends with them, but at some point they're probably going to die before you do as well, and that's hard. But I realize that it's as much as people eat hamburgers and hot dogs and steaks without thinking much about where it comes from. A lot of people have a problem with seeing a live animal and then seeing it unalive. Um, and I understand that. When you take all the skin and the fur off and quarter it up and it looks like meat, people tend to not have a problem at all with that. Which is interesting. It just shows how removed and honestly how entitled we are, how privileged we are to just go to the grocery store and get our food wrapped in plastic and say, "Oh, this is fine. This has nothing to do with death," but it sure does. Other things have to die for us to live. Even plants, folks. I know I got good family friends and family that are vegans and vegetarians, and yeah, animals still have to die for vegetables to be grown. You might not think much about that, but I'll tell you what, I've taken out some rabbits and skunks that have done a lot of harm to our garden, and I got to keep them at bay, keep their population at a good level. Otherwise, they just kind of take off and take over, and the whole thing's gone. So, and gophers, I forgot to mention them. The gophers, man, they um, they have these boom and bust cycles, which are just horrendous. They will go crazy breeding, and it has to do with the weather for sure. But they'll go crazy breeding, and you'll have so many gophers, and then you can get them under control, and they stay at bay for a while and don't bother the garden too much. Here and there, they'll take plants out or get to the roots and stuff. But yeah, the dogs tend to help with that too. Anyhow, yeah, harvesting. We're probably going to harvest a wether here. Trying to think of when. It's usually the best in the fall, just as far as timing goes and how busy I am. But we'll see. We might hang on to him live on the hoof for a while. It just depends. It depends on what we get when the lambs come, whether they're male or female. So, um, yeah, let's see. Beautiful sheep. We have 18 head. Nice. 10 bred ewes due in May. We have black belly, St. Croix, and Katahdin. Nice. Nice. All hair sheep. Yeah. So ours are Dorpers. We've got one that's a half Dorper, half East Frisian milk sheep. On harvesting day, our barn cat tells us we renewed his faith in humanity. I love that. LOL, the inside of bell pepper isn't very appetizing when you think about it. Yeah, I missed some comments here. Or just one, it looks like. LOL, Nigerian dwarves are not that big, though. I will say that. Yeah, our Dorpers aren't as big as other sheep. Like we had a Katahdin Dorper mix. That was that black sheep that we got rid of because she was pig-headed, and Katahdins get bigger. But I have to say, the Dorper meat is the best meat I have ever eaten in my life. I've had pronghorn antelope. I've had venison. I've had elk. In fact, I'm going to that big game dinner tonight. That's what it's called. With my boys, and they have a raffle. I won a bunch of stuff last time we went, and yeah, this year, hopefully we'll win something again. They raffle off a ton of stuff. But anyway, I've eaten all kinds of different meat. Black Angus is kind of what a lot of people like in the beef world, and the Dorpers are kind of the Black Angus of sheep breeds. Um, if I'm sharing my opinion, I think of them as the Black Angus of sheep, and their meat is exceptional. It is very, very good. In fact, we had. I need to put up a little YouTube short about it. I took some video clips, but we had loin chops from one of our ram lambs. He was 10 or 11 months old, maybe not even that. Yeah, he was. He was about a year old, and then we had our ram who was over a year old. And I'll tell you what, those loin chops did not taste much at all like sheep flavor. The texture was there, but it was almost like grass-fed beef. It was tremendous, and those two never got grain. Well, the older one got grain when he was real young because we bought him from someone else, um, but the weather got none. Um, Sorry, are you still there? I had to look at something real quick that came in. All right. 1 Million Pumpkin says, I want to lamb share milk this time around if possible. I've never done dairy of any species before. Yeah, neither have we. And we plan to take everybody on that journey with us as we venture into it. We have a milking stand, and we have milked 2 or 3 of our sheep just a little bit so we could taste it and see what it's like. And it was really good. But we couldn't get that much, and we weren't really all about doing the lamb sharing, right? The milk sharing with the lambs. So we kind of gave up. But we've got some some mentors in the area that are going all in on the dairy sheep, and um, and we're probably going to get a ram from them, maybe milk ram that we can breed to our half milk sheep. See what we get out of that, but may get a ewe out of them too. I don't know. Rural Cowgirl Homestead says my Nigerian dwarves are super prolific. Not always, but a lot of the time they have 3, 4, or 5 babies. Wow. Oh, I lost the volume. Yeah. Okay, now it's back. Thanks, Gwen. Yeah. So do they on their udders? Do they have 2 teats or they have 4, Gwen? Seems like they would have to have 4. I mean, bottle babies, man. I know some people like having bottle babies, but uh, yeah, that just seems like a lot of work if they only have 2 teats on the udder. Having 4 kids have to get milk, and then you're milking too. Man, that must be a ton of milk those Nigerians produce to have 4. I guess that's how it goes with the milk ruminants, though, right? They tend to have 4 teats if they have been selectively bred for milk, I think. At least that's how I think these milk sheep tend to be. Or at least they have enough milk in their udder, even if they only have 2 teats to feed 3 or 4 instead of 2. Anyway, I'm brand new to it, just like 1 million pumpkins. Uh, yeah, our twins have, our, our sheep have twins, mostly as well. What? 7, Gwen? Am I reading that right? 7? One of your does had 7 kids. Stimulating the udder causes more letdown. Yeah, yep. I definitely know about that. But we are not. I should say I am not good at milking. My wife can milk pretty well, but uh, it's an art form, and as you get to know how to do it, as you get practiced, it tends to get better and better. I've seen that firsthand. People I know. Um, all right, let's see. Where is my table? I don't know if y'all can hear our chickens, but they're laying eggs. I can hear that. I guess all animals make sounds when they are laying if they're a bird, I guess, and if they're lambing if they're a sheep. Let everybody know what something's going on. And cows too, right, Glenn? We've thought about getting some steers or whatever out here, or a cow and her calf. Try to make that work, but I don't think our land could take it. I think we would just be feeding hay all the time. Now we could feed hay out here a little bit, but small ruminants are way better as far as uh, soil health and compaction and wear and tear on the land. It is so great to see our sheep out on the pasture. It is a beautiful thing, man. Doing what they're meant to do. Yeah, we're gonna probably need to put them in here real soon. Let me take you over to them. My files are loading. Missed some comments. Yep. All right. Yes, 7. Wow. I would imagine report is a big part of it. Yeah. 7 is the world's record. Wow. Only 4 of my 7 were alive. Oh, that's sad. There is a record of 7 that were all alive. Wow. Hey, Devin, our new land. Shaking, buddy. New place looks awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it is. We were focused on fencing the remainder of our 40 acres to keep range cattle off. They calved in the parcel next to ours, so I know they'll be here soon. Oh yeah, you need to get that fence up. Yeah. Um, yeah. Drive them T-posts. Get that barbed wire up. If there's more than 3, I will supplement with the bottle. Usually one to supplement, but I leave them with the mom and other babies. Oh, okay, that's good to know. Yeah, so three she can handle on her own then, huh? One to supplement. Yeah, that makes sense, Glenn. Well, let me go. Let me go show you guys some sheep. So, said we haven't had rain at all. Um, but yeah, here's what it looks like. We got this one's 493. I told my family you name her 493 if you want to give her a name, because that's what her tag says. And we're not getting attached. She was one of the first 3 that we got out here, and we like her a lot. And it's mostly because of her personality, how easygoing she is, how much she likes people, and she'll walk with us like a dog when we put a halter on her. So that's fun. She's kind of the one who will end up eating the weeds around, the garden and other places that we need the weeds trimmed up or whatever. I hope my Wi-Fi works out here. Looks like I'm on 5G. You guys hear me okay? How's the video and the audio? Wow, we got lots of comments here. Um, wire doubled in price since we fenced our 4 acres. Our 4-acre nucleus, yeah, right around the home. Yeah, we know how that works out. That's what we focused on first too. We've just got, I don't know if you can see it. We just got 4-strand barbed wire out there. That's state land out there, and so we got cows and horses there. And there's a strand I need to replace. It's only 3-strand between a couple of T-posts. This 50-year-old fence or older maybe. Um, but yeah, we got to fence it. We want to do some sheep and goat fencing out here, field fencing, um, just to keep dogs and sheep honest. But yeah, 5x5. Thank you. That helps a lot. Will you dock the tails of the lambs? Yes. So if I can zoom for the first time last spring. So that one that's next to her that's facing us, she was from 2023. She was lambed in the spring of 2023, and she has a tail, and her tail is hideous. So we'll take it off. This is, sorry, I'm zoomed in. This is her mom, 493, and that's her tail. And she came to us that way. The people we got her from said that they didn't really, they like them to have their tails to swat flies away or whatever. So it is fine for them to have tails here in arid Arizona. They don't have fly strike and stuff like that, like a lot of other places. At least not too bad. But the big downside of it for us is that we can't see hooves all that well when our ewes are lambing. So we would rather see the hooves and everything and know what's going on. Like today, I can look with my binoculars at the ones who have their tails docked. So that's the primary reason for us doing that. All right, so let me see more comments here. Yes, here you find. Okay, thanks. We got high tensile electric 5-strand. Oh, nice. That'll do it. That's great. Yeah, we considered that actually. We have high tensile just on the top of our um, fence around the barn and the corral and the yard and all that. But you guys out of water now? All right, we gotta go and fill up the water. Oh no, we're gonna just put them in. Yeah, see, you can kind of tell the difference on each side of the fence here. That's kind of after and after matches. So they're gonna start grazing it a little bit too much, and you can see kind of the idea is that it's not all grazed down, right? But it's grazed enough where there's going to be some competition, and of course this is mostly just stockpile from the winter. It's not like there's a whole lot that's been growing lately. And take you in here. We've got a variety of different species, but let me see. I can't see my screen super well, but there is green grass coming out. Let's see. Can you see it? So this is a bunch. This is a blue grama bunch grass, and it's one of the sheep's favorite grass. And let's see, it's, it's right there. You see that green there? It's right there. It's coming out. Anyway, I'm so excited that we got green grass coming out. Hopefully it doesn't freeze too hard, but it should be able to deal with it. So that's the first green we've seen since like October, so it's good. And then we've got this stuff. This is side oats grama, and so there's a few different types of grama grass out here. And then we've got some other stuff, some cool weather grasses too. But that's pretty much what our pasture looks like, and we're trying to get to fill in. You can see there's a bunch of holes, and in the shade here, of course, this is where animals tend to spend a lot of time. This property had horses on it for 50 years before we moved here, and this is a Utah juniper, or a shaggy bark juniper, and it's great to have trees up here in the high desert. This is squirrel tail grass in here. Well, there's some side oats grama here and there too, and then some other type of grama in here. But this stuff is squirrel tail grass under here. At least usually it is in the shade, and that's the cool weather grass. And it would normally be green if we had gotten some rain, but we hadn't. So it's all dried off, and it's like all the other winter stockpiled grass, where it's just a bunch of fiber. It's got some nutrition, but it's been hard. We haven't gotten any water this year. We didn't get our monsoons, and we didn't get any winter rain really. There was one storm where we got some snow. It was gone the next day, and it's been a hard year for water here in northern central Arizona. Hey, 1 million pumpkins. Feel free to email us if you have any pictures. We don't know all the different species, but we do know we have learned a lot. Our email address is highlandhomesteading@gmail.com. We've got that in our about section, I think, too, because different companies find us and want to send us stuff sometimes. But yeah, the different types of grasses are helpful. We actually have saved seed from certain individual grasses that seem to weather um, the the dryness a little bit better and have produced a lot of seed. And so then we'll save that, and then we'll actually put it underneath sheep manure that we have from the barn. We have to put ours in the barn. I don't know about you, but the mountain lions here are just thick. So we've had friends that have lost all of their 6 goats that they had, and I don't remember what they had. Those tall goats, Gwen. Which ones are those? Not the Nubians, but I forget what they were. Anyway, they milked those goats. But anyway, mountain lion kept coming one night after another, and they had hot wire up, but they didn't ever put them in the barn, and the mountain lion found a way to get in there, and he's still not sure exactly how the mountain lion got in, but they had kind of a, open corral with a, like a mare motel kind of, 3-sided shelter for the goats, and they all got taken. And yeah, it was a huge bummer. Over the course of a month, he lost 6 goats, and he told me, "Do me a favor. I thought it was found out too late that it wasn't. Do me a favor and make sure that you have bars on all your windows, and you put your sheep away every night, or get a livestock guardian dog out with them." And just keep them out there. That's the only other way that we know people can do it here. Problem is that a lot of these livestock guardian dogs around here we found end up dead on the road because they tend to wander off unless they get a really good one that really wants to just be with their sheep. Um, so instead of dealing with that heartache and problem, we decided just to do some more management intensive stuff, and like this management intensive grazing it's a lot of work putting them out here and putting them back, but um, it's proved to be worth it over the last couple of years. This place is really changing for the better, so it's been fun. um, Weeds are really growing right now here. The grass will kick in a week or so. It's warming up. Nice, nice, Gwen. You know what? We've been talking about wanting to come out to the deep south and maybe all the way to Florida even. I want to come through your part of the country. I've never been down there, but not sure when we would come. Probably in the fall or something. We got homeschool kids and I work from home, so we were thinking maybe we would try to make a trip. But having somebody watch the place is the challenge. I'm sure you guys understand that. Oh, you're by St. John's. Yeah, we're in Prescott, or north of Prescott. Not exactly in Prescott, but Prescott's the closest town to us. And yeah, St. John's. We've been wanting to cruise out there too. We haven't visited the east side of the state all that much. We want to go to the White Mountains and cruise over to New Mexico a little bit, up to the mountains in New Mexico. I plan on dividing clump grasses this year. The turkeys zip the seeds. Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least you got turkeys. That's fun. I got a shotgun and would love to go turkey hunting sometime. That'd be a lot of fun, I think. But I've never been, and my son would really like to go do some turkey hunting too. We got a pair of shotguns that would be suited real well for turkey hunting, I think. Our sheep are in pens at night, and the livestock guardian dog patrols inside the nucleus. Nice. That's like a fantastic setup you guys have out there in St. John's. Yeah. Gwen says it's hot and miserable in the summer months. Yeah, I know that. I'm not gonna even plan to come in the summer. Yeah, we don't have a desire to go to southeast Texas nor the deep south in the summer. We would die. We're used to the dry heat, not the humidity. Yeah, we'd either get carried off by mosquitoes or we would just die from the humidity, Gwen. Stop by sometime. All right. Well, you know what? If we're in the area, I'll drop you a line. Feel free to send us an email, like I said. Um, Highland Homesteading at Gmail. Oh, they're heritage domesticated free range turkeys that you've got. So you probably don't want to have target practice on your own turkeys. It's pretty much the same from Southeast Texas all the way to Florida. Well, we might just be able to stop in Southeast Texas and say we've seen it all. That would be great. Well, it's been over an hour, and I've had some great people in the chat. Thank you all for joining me for this live stream. I think it's time to call it and bring the sheep in. They're out of water. It's a nice day. They're not complaining or looking around or panting or anything like that. They look like they're doing just great. But they do need to go in, and I will probably get more work done inside. It's hard not to look out and smile. Thank you all for joining me. Hope to have some more live streams coming up. This has been fun. 1 million pumpkins. If we do a road trip, yeah, we'll definitely make some content and would love to share all that we can while still keeping people's privacy honored and respected. So that would be a lot of fun. Don't know if we can make it happen in 2025, but we will aim for doing something like that. Be so nice to see some people in person and just see what you do. Be one of those kind of things where we could talk all day long and probably wouldn't have enough time to discuss all the things we'd want. And yeah, it's fun being around our people like that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Nick from Arizona Highland Homestead, and we'll have some more videos for you real soon. Thanks for watching.